afternoon everybody, Car Biker here. Time for another video editing basics for vloggers video. And in this one I'm going to show you how to overlay images in front of your video. And it's using a few of the techniques we've already seen. So for example the layering, the pan and crop tools, all that kind of thing. But this is where you want to put a image in front of the video. Maybe you want to show a photograph, maybe you want to overlay a watermark, something along those lines. This is the tool to do it with. So I'm going to start. I've got these two files here. We've got an image file, which is the Car Biker logo, if you like, cut into the shape of East Yorkshire. This is what I'm using now for overlaying as a watermark on all my videos. And I've got a piece of raw footage from when I went and picked up Biker Bear from Danny G 1980. So I'll just get those two files, drag them into Sony Movie Studio into the project media, and those will get added. And then we can switch to Movie Studio to do the actual editing. Now when you look at the image in the project media, you can see it's got this kind of checkerboard effect on it. The reason behind that is I've created that image as a transparent image. So these checkerboard bits here will not actually appear in the final video. They'll be completely transparent. If you want a non-rectangular image, that's the easiest way to do it, although there are other ways of adding transparency later on. So start by putting the video part into the video track on the timeline, and you can see it's quite long. It's about 13 minutes of footage there. I'll just trim that down to about 10 seconds. So just clip that in half and delete the excess, and then we can drag the overlay in. And as we did with the layering, it's just a case that the higher it is on the timeline, the more in front it will be, if that's a way of putting it. Things that are higher on the screen will be in front of things that are lower on the screen. So if we put the logo into the video overlay, it'll appear in front of the video. Just click in there to show you that. So there it is, the logo looking rather large in front of the video. It also drops it in at 5 seconds long by default, so I can just grab the end of that, drag it across to match the video, and then it'll go for the full length of the video. Nice and easy. And the only thing that's wrong with that really is for a watermark, it's a tad too large. But that's okay, we can just use the event pan and crop tool that we've seen in earlier videos to move that around. And I'll show you one other thing while we're doing that. So I'll position the marker at the beginning first, so that that's the point at which we're changing the size of the image. Go for the event pan and crop tool, click on that, and that shows us the image in the video event effects section. And I'll just zoom out a bit because we're going to make the containing rectangle bigger so that the image becomes smaller when it's overlaid. Before we do that though, you might notice that the main video here is proper widescreen, 1920 by 1080 as it's shown you underneath, whereas the image isn't that same aspect ratio. It's closer to square than the widescreen picture. And that means that if we start to shrink it down by expanding the viewport and then want to move it, let's say to the left as I have it, it'll actually move outside of that rectangle, and you can see it starts to get chopped off. And that's because the aspect ratio of this rectangle doesn't match the output aspect ratio. You can fix that really easy though. Just right click in your video event effects, and you see we've got match output aspect and match source aspect. Source aspect is the image, so that's what we've got at the minute. Output aspect is the aspect ratio, the width to height ratio of the final video. So if we match that, then our viewport, our rectangle here, becomes the right shape, and now when we move the thing around, it doesn't crop off that image in the corner. So we'll move it closer to the corner, and I'll just increase the size of that to make it look a bit smaller, something like that. And now we've got our little East Yorkshire shaped Car Biker logo in the bottom left hand corner of the video. You see if I move around, that will just sit there quite happily. If you want to overlay more than one image at a time, you can do. I'll show you that by overlaying the same one twice. So go back to Project Media, and I'll just drag that into the next timeline up, or the next layer up. It's called the text layer, but as I mentioned before, that's just a name. And you see we've now got two images. Again, that one's set to 5 seconds, so you could spread that out, we could resize it, but in reality we're using this as just an overlay in the corner, so one image is ample. So that's how you overlay an image over your video. I hope that's helpful to you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.